Having trouble with your garage door? Problem solved. Call Direct Service Overhead Garage Door Company. We're your go-to team for garage door repair, new garage doors, openers, and more. We offer same-day service. We're always ready when you need us. Best of all, you can book your appointment online or talk to a live operator 24/7. No machines, no waiting. So whether it's a broken spring or a brand new garage door, trust the local experts at Direct Service Garage Doors. Call us today or visit directserviceoverhead.com.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, man. Here we are. We're back, finally. Oh, it feels so good. Feels so good. Yeah, glad to be back. Hope everyone had a Merry Christmas. Right, Patreon supporters, don't forget, you got a couple of audio logs on Tusk Talk with Ty Patreon. So when you're done here, maybe, you got a few minutes to kill. You can go watch one. I think they're both about 8 minutes long. So Patreon supporters, Tusk Talk with Ty Patreon supporters, go check that out. Go listen to a couple of audio logs. We're going to have some more drop this week. All right. Make sure you guys hop in here, like, share, and, subscribe. Now, I know it's Tuesday. We're calling it Monday Night Lights, but it's on a Tuesday night. Shit happens, right? We're on a interesting schedule because of the holidays and everything. So, okay. We are going to spark up this cigar. Shout out to Tyler Edmondson. Look at that. That's Cyberlife in Discord. This is one of them. He sent I don't know how many cigars, but I'm really excited about it. So we're gonna light this sucker up here in just a second. All right, there's a poll that you guys can take. Does the new head hog crush the portal? And the options are, yep, money and buy-in is there. Nope, all hype, or will be same as usual, which is currently sitting at 0%. So go ahead and take that poll. And again, I've seen people ask after the live show. I don't see any poll. Yeah, you got to be here live to take the poll. It ends when I hit the end poll button. It's over. In fact, it automatically will end as soon as the live is over with. So I saw someone ask that in one of the other videos in the post live chat. They were like, "Where's the poll?" Like, bro, you got to be here live. All right, one last time, hit the like button, share, because sharing is caring, and hit the subscribe if you are new here. Make sure you have the notification bell. Yeah? Okay. I see Mac. Appreciate you, Mac. Thank you for sending that out in Discord. I forgot to do it in Discord. That's my bad. All right, man. So we know January 2nd, it is approaching fast. It is approaching fast. That is when the portal officially opens. Expect pure chaos. It's going to be exactly that. It's going to be crazy, and there's going to be some names you did not expect to go into the portal from Arkansas. And who knows, man, you might nab a few, right? You might nab a few guys that obviously you're going to do more than that. But you could land some names that you didn't think that you had a shot at before. Again, you're going to see some pretty big names into that portal. There's already some crazy names in the portal, that are being reported as entering the portal on Friday. So if history tells us anything, expect the unexpected. Yeah. What's up, John? How you doing, man? John Haas. Heartbroken Hog. Yeah. Okay. I see you. Megan. I can't wait for the portal. Yeah, I know. So, again, we have a portal, again, for Patreon supporters in Discord. Underneath Patreon discussion, underneath Insider, is Portal Watch. All right? These are the names that we know of people that have entered the portal. And if they're on that list, that's because they're going to be of interest to Arkansas if they're not already planning on visiting. And we have all that marked. We have a bunch of names on there. I mean, I got to scroll up here for a minute. The very first name on there is C.J. Baxter. Now, we got some updating to do. Obviously, there's going to be some more names. Jalen Lucas out of Florida State. I mean, the list just goes on here. I have Osamane Kermal. I can't tell you guys how badly I want that dude to hit the portal. He has not hit the portal. 6'1", 220-pound running back. But JIC, right? JIC, just in case. And it even says right there, no portal talk at the moment. Just saying, you've got his recruit, the guy that's responsible for him is now coaching at Arkansas. Osamane Kermal was like one of the big time backs that Florida State signed in his 2025 grades, despite there being, he only carried the ball 72 times. His grades are on fire. So yeah, the list just kind of goes on and on. We do have AJ Hill on there as well. We have his PFF. We have his numbers. Cam Davis at Florida State, Carius Kern, Jamari Hawkins. These names ought to sound familiar, right? Malachi Breland at Memphis, Ethan Newman, CJ Smith. I mean, the list goes on. This is why you want to be a Patreon member. We have all this stuff condensed into each player. You got their name, the school they're coming from, their position, their weight, their PFF grade, and everything else. So, yeah, and we just added, Jamonta Waller at Auburn. Doesn't mean they're for sure coming here. It just means they're names of interest, right? And that there could be a possibility of Arkansas getting after these guys. Waller was actually recruited by Ron Roberts, by the way, at Auburn. Grant Segrin at Oklahoma State. He's the newest name, and we've got more names to add. All right? Okay. Friday. Silverfield era begins. It begins. Here we go. This is where it starts, ladies and gentlemen. I should say lady and gentlemen. I don't know where Megan's like our only female. We used to have a few. Shout out to the ladies, huh? We know we got some Tusk Talk ladies. Shout out to you. Thank you for watching. Tell your friends. Silverfield era begins on Friday. This is huge. And if there's anything, I mean, look, there's no doubt Pittman wasn't supported, okay? We know that much. Pittman did not have the financial support. All this talk about the hypothetical dollars and Hunter Yurchak more or less reassuring fans that Silverfield is going to have, of course, my lighter goes out, of course. It's a really cool lighter, too. Shout out to Open Door Cigar. They are not a sponsor. But I use this lighter so much, I haven't filled it. I'm going to have to use another lighter. Okay, we'll put that on hold. So Friday, the portal opens, and who knows, right, what Razorbacks. We know that we've got some guys in the portal that entered the portal. I'm not too thrilled about what's going on with the linebackers. J.J. Shelton hit the portal today. What are we up to? Is that three Razorback linebackers in the portal? Is that right? Let me pull this up here. One of my 6,000 tabs. Where are you at? Okay. So Justice Boone entered the portal. That's defensive lineman, but still. J.J. Shelton, Justin Logan, and I think Trevor Jackson, the quarterback. Where was he from? Florida State. Was that right? One of those Florida schools. He entered the portal. Miguel Mitchell entered the portal. That puts Arkansas up to 11 players so far. Now, Justice Boone I'm sorry. No offense to the kid. I hope, God knows what he made here. I don't know. Maybe he didn't make anything. I have no idea. But I know, I mean, come on. Surely he made something, right? He's not a 4-star. This is not a 4-star prospect. And it bugs me to no end, these 247 recruiting rankings. Drives me insane. They've got him as a 4-star transfer portal player. They did the same thing to Kudus. You remember that? Have you seen Kudus, how he graded out? Did not grade out superb at Ole Miss. I'm just saying, these guys really have to figure out what they're doing with these 247 rankings. But again, that's another linebacker in the portal in J.J. Shelton and Justice Logan. You combine that with Tavion Wallace. What do all these guys have in common? Obviously, they have another year of eligibility at least. Tavion Wallace has 4. You're losing the next guy up. Like, Tavion Wallace was looked at as someone who, and by the way, highly rated 4-star out of high school once upon a time ago. so they give him the 3-star ranking. Don't know. Okay. And Ian Jaffard is also a 4-star. I'm just telling you guys, these rankings make no damn sense. AJ Green's a 4-star. But Tavion, that's 3 linebackers. And these are guys, it's like we need a next guy up. And I get that you got a whole new system. None of this is surprising. Their coaches were wiped off the map here at Arkansas. They're gone. It's not surprising. I was kind of hoping they could hold on to Tavion, and I was kind of hoping they could hold on to Justin Logan. Logan, good size linebacker, 6'2", 6'3", about 240 pounds. Tavion built a little bit lower to the earth, right? He's like 6 foot, 6'1", 240. But still, the guy had all the intangibles, right? To be, and he does, to be a really good linebacker. And I think he's probably. I'd be shocked if he doesn't stay in the SEC. Well, I'd be shocked. I mean, he's going to go P4. There's no doubt in my mind. Tavon Wallace is going to go P4. So between the secondary and your linebackers, who do you have coming back? Now, I get it. In the secondary, you need that reset, and I'm all about it. Oh yeah, you need the reset in the secondary. Okay, Davila is in there. Miguel Mitchell is in there. But these linebackers, now it's putting a lot of pressure on this staff. They couldn't retain anybody. Doesn't look like they're going to. And, yeah, they won't be the last. There's going to be more linebacker or more defensive players are going to hit that portal. You just hope you can hang on to, I don't know, Quincy Rhodes. I know he's sad he's coming back. But, guys, we've seen that before where a player says, I'm coming back, and then they don't. But, yeah, it's too many linebackers. I'm not loving that. I'm not loving that. I kind of want one now, unless you go out and you get someone who's gonna get the job done. Now, what does that put you at linebackers right now? So we're still waiting on Andrew Harris, who didn't really get much of a shot. I think he played special teams this year. I'm not sure. Andrew Harris. I think Justin Logan is. No, I'm sorry, not Justin Logan. I'm sorry, I'm getting it mixed up with. The other linebacker, Wyatt Simmons. 6'1", what is Simmons? He's like 6'1", 230, right? 225. Wyatt Simmons, who, I don't know. I mean, he showed promise. There were times this year watching him play late in the year when he actually got time on the field. I mean, he was swarming to the ball. His grades aren't phenomenal, but he also has a really small sample size. So we'll see what Wyatt Simmons does. I mean, there are still some other options here at linebacker. But, yeah, I don't know, man. It's a little bit of a bummer, but we don't have to harp on that too much because they're going to hit up the portal like crazy. Now, I don't have any – where am I at on linebackers in the portal watch? I thought I added a couple. Maybe I didn't. I know we got a whole bunch of guards, receivers, several running backs, quarterbacks. My God, I haven't added a linebacker yet. We're gonna have to take a good hard look at that. I could have sworn we added one. I guess not. So we'll see what they do. I don't have any information on any linebacker that's there. There might be someone who's expected to visit. I'm not sure. Remember, this thing goes on from January 2nd. You've only got like 2 weeks. So again, that's why this is so important. You don't have a second portal window. You have a final signing period window for kids out of high school in February. So a month later. Should be the first week of February. I'm pretty sure it'd be the final signing period. But I mean, that's neither here nor there. This is it for Silverfield. If he doesn't get off on the right foot, this is how you build the identity of your team. We still don't know what's going on at quarterback. There's word that there could be interest in a couple of quarterbacks. Don't know that we have this substantiated yet. Have heard the name Josh Hoover. I don't know where this started. I've had two different text messages and 2 DMs from people asking me about Josh Hoover, if there's any truth in it. I don't know where that started. I don't know if that's coming from a paid board. But Josh Hoover was a name. And then the other name that was mentioned in Discord is Caton Hauser out of Eastern Carolina. These are upperclassmen. These are guys that have played. Got some snaps under him. I don't know a ton about – I know a little bit about Hoover. I've seen some – I watched TCU play a little bit this year. Certainly watched some highlight films on him. I have not watched Caton Hauser. I know this much. both of them sling the ball a hell of a lot better under pressure than Taylor Green did. Now, we got to be fair. Taylor Green had to deal with potential top 3, top 4 round draft picks week after week on opposing defenses in the SEC. I know the SEC, and I'm one of those people who will tell you I think the SEC has taken a gigantic step backwards over the last 2-3 years. I've been saying that for like 3 years. I've been on Mark Rogers' show saying as much. But still, like there's no doubt the level of competition here is still higher. The talent pool here is still higher. And so it's not really fair to say, well, this guy's completing X amount of percentage under pressure more so than Taylor Green. Yeah, okay. But you got to remember, one guy's in at ECU, the other guy's at TCU. Think about who they're playing. Now, obviously, TCU's in the Big 12, a little bit better than where ECU's at. But Hauser under pressure is 41% on completions. However, he's got just 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. I think the thing that stands out for me, I love Hoover's deep ball numbers. They are fantastic. I mean, he's throwing almost 41% completed throws on passes of 20 yards or further off 54 attempts downfield. He's almost 41%. I'm going to tell you that's actually pretty damn impressive. 10 touchdowns, 4 picks. So, again, 41% off throws, and this is Hoover at TCU. 41% with 743 yards downfield. 2 of those were dropped. And he's got pretty good medium throws, which are 10 to 19 yards. He's pretty good there. But I'll tell you, PFF likes him a lot on the deep ball. They've got him at a 91.9. And then you look at Caton Hauser, they like him even more on the deep ball. 1,000 yards, 43% completion, 25 out of 58. 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns, 1 pick. That's a PFF score of 96.3. So I don't know if there's any truth in this. It is saying something when I keep getting asked about the same 2 people by multiple people. Then it's starting somewhere. It's either off a paid board somewhere. It might be from Patreon, Tusk Talk Patreon. It could be maybe someone, from another site. I don't know. I don't know where this is coming from, but those are 2 names that have come across my desk. No clue. I have not asked to verify if Arkansas is actually trying to get these guys, if they even go into the portal. Hell, I don't think is Hauser in the portal? Like, I literally, just before I went live, I was talking about this in Patreon about an hour, maybe 2 hours ago with somebody. So I haven't had the time to do all the due diligence in the world. I don't even know if these 2 guys are both in the portal, but I think Hoover is, right? Josh Hoover did hit the portal. I don't know if Hauser is. Anyways, I digress. So that's the question moving forward. Like, what do you do at quarterback? Do you just stick it out with KJ Jackson? And, again, this is a question that has been asked. Like, why would you, I know someone today was asking a little bit different form of the question, but this is the question by a lot of other fans. I have heard it. I have seen it. I've seen other people have to talk about it. Why would you go with anyone else? Why would Silverfield, why would he go to, let's say Hauser and Hoover are out there. Would those guys, let's say they're out there, they're interested, you offer them, they accept, they're both coming, or maybe just one of the 2. Why would you do that, Ty? Why would Brian Silverfield do that when you got KJ Jackson? Guys, KJ Jackson's just not proven. He's not a proven commodity yet. We don't really know how good he really is. I mean, think about, there's a difference in just throwing a guy in, right? And a defense has to play catch up a little bit. You got to remember, he's a left-handed quarterback. And he's a different kind of scrambler than Taylor Green. And what else did Jackson do? He stepped up into the damn pocket and he made throws, despite getting smacked on the face, despite getting tossed around a little bit. He stepped up into the pocket on more than one occasion and delivered some strikes. One of them went for a touchdown. It was a beautiful throw, beautiful find, and he got hit. And then you got Taylor Green, who's more of I'm just going to panic, scramble, run around backwards. Maybe I'll make a play happen. Maybe I'll take a 15-yard sack. But so, there's a difference in preparing for that and then preparing for it and knowing what's coming week to week, right? Especially in the SEC, where you still have some of the highest quality coaching staffs in the country, with the analyst and all these different position coaches and all these guys with different titles. They're all paid to look for these certain weaknesses in these players. And when you're getting ready for Taylor Green every week versus KJ Jackson. So we don't. So in other words, we don't know how Jackson would be, how he would perform week to week. We don't know. I think his ceiling is really high, especially with Petrino. Part of me wonders if he doesn't actually, if North Carolina doesn't come a calling. I don't know their situation at quarterback, but I mean, Petrino's probably whispered in someone's ear over there, like, hey, look, I had this kid at Arkansas. Man, I think we could do something with him. Oh, and he's left-handed. Oh, and he can scramble. Oh, and he can step up in the pocket and make the throws. I'm just saying. He said he's coming back. I'm going to take him at his word. I don't know. I hear great things about him, by the way. How good of a kid he is. That's good. That's always good to hear. So, yeah, this is all part of it. This is all part of it, man. What to expect in the Silverfield era, and can he deliver? And does he go after a quarterback? I think obviously they're going to try and fill that room up, the running back room. I think they're absolutely going to pull the trigger on a couple of those guys for sure. And I think they're going to land. I think they're going to go after someone big and then there's the other question, right? Like, how much trust do you put in Russell being able to be the guy week to week if he sticks it out? I don't know. Can he stay healthy? That's the other question. Let me read some of these questions. Again, make sure you guys share the content. Sharing is caring. I know it's a Tuesday night. No one expected a live today, other than when I did tweet about it. But make jokes about the players from Memphis football team being a joke. I don't get it. Isaac Tisla is catching passes for the Detroit Lions. And who did he play for? Okay, that must be – y'all must be carrying on about something. If you're not all in, please stop blocking the doorway, says Mike and them. Oh. We got some doubters in chat. Again, the poll is, does the new head hog crush the portal? That is the poll. Feel free. Right now, 46% of you are saying yeah. I don't think the players like the new splash hire, says Richard Baker. Tell you going to talk about the quarterback stuff. Oh, yeah. We already did that part, Mitch. I don't know if you're still in here, but yeah, we got into that. We got into some of that. Sean, 4862, wants to know how much money are the other schools spending. I'm sure theirs went up as well. Yeah, there's always going to be that, right? I mean, you're always, when word gets out that you're offering X amount of dollars, right, someone else is going to come along. Did this not post? What's going on here? Oh, it did. Okay. All right. So, yeah, I don't know, man. That's the question for you guys. how would you do this with the quarterbacks? What would be what would you do a quarterback? Would you roll the dice with KJ Jackson and just try to surround him with better players? I don't know, man. There's already some really good players, skill position guys in that portal, by the way, anticipated to be in the portal. But yeah, I don't know. Hoover, both these quarterbacks between Hoover and Caton Hauser, pretty interesting, right? Both pretty good players, it looks like on the surface. So yeah, between the linebackers hitting the portal, and again, a lot of this is expected, especially when you wipe out the coaching staff. But that's, what is that? What did we say? 11 players now in the portal. Expect more for sure. So the second is this Friday is going to be a really, 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 it's a big deal. I mean, the entire portal cycle is going to be a really big deal. OK State offensive tackle Grant Segerin is expected to go on a visit between, I don't know what this was about. Someone had tweeted that. So he's from Oklahoma State. He's going to visit Oklahoma State. So I guess he's going to, I don't know. Maybe that was an error. But Auburn and Northwestern are the other schools involved. I don't know how serious the Auburn offer is. But Wouldn't that be an interesting win over Golish? Auburn fans right now not too fond of Golish. I don't know if you guys are keeping up with some of that, but there's some names hitting that portal. Their 5-star quarterback, the star receiver. Like, there are just bits and pieces of that Auburn team they really wanted to keep around. And I don't know that you're asking those guys to hit the portal. In Arkansas's case, you're going to have a number of guys that you're going to ask to hit the portal. Okay? That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. That's the nature of the business. We're gonna put out a good word for you, okay? If a school happens to, maybe they need some practice tape, whatever, we will help. I'm assuming that's how that works. We will help facilitate you out of the building. That is also something else we have to keep in mind. And sometimes, I'd say a lot of the times, we don't know for sure, but usually you could, you have a pretty good idea of who's being asked to hit the portal. So just keep that in mind. Again, portal season is the best season, man. When it comes to the off season, I am really excited. The Friday cannot get here fast enough. And we're going to fill up these names. We're going to fill up those portal target names. We're going to copy and paste, hopefully, a number of those guys from the watch page. And then hopefully, pretty quick, we're starting to fill up the portal commit page. The 2026 transfer portal commit part of the page, which everybody that's a Patreon supporter has access to. Can't wait, man. Best time of year. I'm not putting my eggs on just one quarterback. We saw that with KJ and TG. They underperformed while collecting their NIL. More than one game, basically quit, but never got benched. I want a backup QB1, says Kelly Williams. Oh, okay. Robert Williams says, I hope you get a couple of good defensive players. Well, you guys know my position on what they need to do in the portal. I mean, it's no secret what I want them to do. I want them to absolutely flood this roster with defensive line. Well, now linebackers too, right? But you need to go – Arkansas has to find themselves some pieces to fit in with whatever it is that Ron Roberts wants to do, but pieces around Quincy Rhodes. Are you trying to build a defense that's gonna elevate him or there's no doubt this guy is a potential star, okay? At one point was a first-round prospect. So when you talk about Quincy Rhodes, it wasn't just one. I think it was CBS Sports. There was one other draft board before he announced he was coming back, had him floating around the first round. So when you talk about Quincy Rhodes, you're talking about a potential first-round draft prospect. Doesn't mean he's going to for sure be one. So you want to facilitate as much talent around him as humanly possible. Let's get some studs on that defensive line. Let's wake the hell up. Like, if you look at some of the best turnarounds in college football, even in the SEC, what are they doing? They are mounting up the line of scrimmage. They are beefing it up. Here we go. I got a lighter working now. Oh, baby. I love that sound. Mm-hmm. Pretty good. D-line, says Fishman. Absolutely. Hell yes. Get them going, baby. Talk portal to me. Get you as many defensive linemen. I think the question's also going to be, like, what are they going to do with the offensive line? Blake Cherry. Did he pull his name out or something? Why did I not see him? He is not on. He's not on the 247 transfer page. Am I missing something? Am I crazy? Hold on. Yeah, they've still got him on the, and of course the Razorback page is not fully updated. It won't. They're not going to officially start to update players who commit elsewhere from Arkansas, until after the portal closes. Then you'll see these names disappear off the actual ArkansasRazorbacks.com list. But yeah, Blake Cherry's a guy. Another guy you talk about, we talk about these linebackers, like the next guy up at linebacker, those guys are all basically gone for the most part. Outside of Simmons and a couple others. And I don't know that Simmons is going to stick it out. And Simmons is he really a starter quality linebacker in this league? Not yet, right? So then you flip it over to the offensive line. Blake Cherry is someone they fully expected to be a competitor as a starter. 6'5", 316 out of Oklahoma. We know Shaq McCroy. He hit the portal. Some people are saying that's a scheme thing. He's just not fast enough. So yeah, Marion Harris does not have he doesn't have any eligibility left. Thank you, God. Yeah, I said it. Thank you, God. No disrespect to him. I'm just saying. Ty Cigar. What is it? Ty Cigar puffs are sensual. It's a pretty cigar, man. Aged, barrel aged. There you go. For you any cigar folks out there. Pretty good. Gotta really grip it, though. Appreciate the super chat. Ty, you need a good Zippo lighter for your cigar. No, I got really good lighters, man. They're just out of fluid. This is my favorite, though. I love this one. See, a little bit of a flame there. This is my favorite cigar. I've got the cigars, bro. This is exactly what you're looking for right here. What did Robert Williams say? We need a couple of good corners, about 5 defensive tackles, 3 linebackers, and 3 defensive ends. I mean, that's a start. I think that's a start. They'll probably. I mean, I don't know what their number is going to be on any of these guys. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Silverfield lets his assistants talk to the media. So where are they at? Where are they at? Come talk to us. Come talk to us. T-Dub, I hope you're doing good, man. It's good to see you. Again, make sure you guys like and share and all that fun stuff. All right. Did you guys catch this from and we're gonna get into some more portal stuff here in just a second. We'll come back around to it. We're not done with the football talk. Again, I'll just say this. This is such a big deal. And it is, I get that it is for everybody. Like, obviously it's not just Silverfield. It's going to be a big deal for Golish. It's going to be a big deal for all the new coaches, even more so at Oklahoma State, right? But for Ryan Silverfield, and the more people talk about 2030, I almost want to just call it the Great Reset. I don't know what the hell's going on, but we're told by 2030 it's just going to be a big deal. We know they're doing the conference realignment. Some of the network deals, I guess, are going to change or they're ending. So it's gonna create like this kind of rift in college football. And then, of course, there's the concern about positioning, right? So whatever the case may be, and with the start that Ryan Silverfield has already had, you can make the argument the era began when he flipped those 4-star in-state players. You can make the argument that it actually started then. But it's like we've already touched on why the portal is a bigger deal. Because these are going to be the guys. These are the older. This is the step up, right, in age. This is the step up in the level of type of talent they played against. It's at an elevated level. These are obviously not high school kids. It seems fairly obvious. But like, you've got so many areas that you're not going to retain everybody. Now, I don't know about, we'll see what the offensive line does. But linebacker, defensive line, second, like the whole defense needs to be, you can't even say the word revamped. You got to fill some spots, and you cannot settle. You can't just settle. They're talking about this kid that I don't even know the name of the damn school. I haven't listed it yet. Some kid from like a Division II school, and I'm sure he's good. He's got some pretty good offers apparently. He's a speedster, and they think he's outgrown Division II, and he's ready for P4 ball. Listen, Arkansas, and I've said before, like, yeah, okay, you got Armstrong out of Texas A&M Commerce. Where the hell did Tesla come from? Where did you can go down the list of some of these schools. Like, I get it, but it almost feels like in the secondary you don't want experimental players. On defense anywhere, you don't want experimental players necessarily. I'm not saying they're all, listen, there's been some really good players on the defensive side of the ball across all the P4 schools or conferences rather, that have brought in someone from a no-name school and been really good on defense. Wasn't it Verse with the Rams? I don't want to think about the Rams right now, but didn't he play at Albany next to another guy that ended up being a Razorback, right? So, I mean, you get what I'm saying. Like, you could still go get those guys, but it almost feels imperative that you've got to go get the big names, the guys whose PFF numbers back them up, the in-depth analytics back them up, the stars and what they did at their previous school backs them up. It feels like you need proven talent on the defense, not guys from Division II, Division III. Maybe there's some group of six kids out there. We need to call them G6, by the way. Maybe there's some G6s out there. Mike Washington, yeah, we can use this example too. Probably the prime example. Mike Washington, where did he play at before he came to Arkansas? Where did he play at before that school? So, I mean, I understand that. But like Mike Washington, make no mistake about it, you still felt fairly comfortable what you were doing at running back where you could kind of roll the dice on someone like him. Omega Blake was actually a 4-star receiver, if I remember right, in the portal. You didn't feel like that was as much of a dice roll, and he kind of backed it up prior to coming to Arkansas. But on defense, it just feels like you cannot do that. We don't need any more. And you had a kid from OU that transferred over that did what? Right? And then you look at Neal. Where did Neal play? Was it Fresno? Is that right? And now he's talked about as CBS Sports just 2 weeks ago had him as a potential first-round draft prospect. So, I get it. There are some really good examples. Neal was fantastic for Arkansas. I kind of think that Ron Roberts is going to try and swing for the fences. I'm not saying they're not going to go out and grab some Division II kid. I'm sure they are. They're going to go grab some. They're going to get whatever they can get, whatever they can afford to get, whatever they can get their hands on. But again, they're supposed to have the money. The support's supposed to be there. That all those hypothetical dollars are supposed to be there. So we'll see. But again, everyone else is up in the ante just like you are. Just because you think, you're Arkansas's got, they went from which is pretty substantial. They went from bottom 4 in the SEC, bottom 3 in staff and spending money on the staff. Now they're like top 5, top 6. Okay. But that's because you had a head start. You still got some SEC teams in the playoffs. You still got some restructuring going on. We'll see when the dust settles. Is Arkansas still going to be a top 6 in terms of money spent on staff? Are they still going to be top 6? I forgot where that report came from, but I know you guys read it. I saw it. Wish I had saved it. Oh, we got some super chats here. Let me read them really quick. Kane is not an SEC quarterback. I hate to say, okay. I didn't mention Kane Archer, did I? Did I mention Kane Archer? I don't think I did. I hate to say that, but it's true. Are we really going to make a run at ECU quarterback? That's just a name that's popped up on my feed a lot, and people have been messaging me about him. Ty, I hope you and the family had a great Merry Christmas. We did, Fish. Thank you, man. And everyone in the chat as well. Be safe on New Year's, too. Appreciate you, Fish. There are far more misses than hits at G6, D2 level. I agree, Tim. Exactly. I agree. You're more likely to swing and miss. Well, in terms of getting them here and then producing, right? You're more likely to swing and miss on those guys once you bring them here than you are, more of the proven. Now, again, everyone's going after the proven names. Everybody. Kane put up 50. He done his job. I don't know what the rest of that says, Josh. I'm sorry, man. You're going to have to. Trey Beatty, what? Is the one that put out the report on the on the coaches and us being bottom 5. Okay, that's right. Yeah, that sounds right. It probably was Trey. It's excellent reporting. because I'm pretty sure that is substantiated. And Trey wouldn't report it otherwise. Yeah. Kane went live and said he wants to play at Arkansas, but he didn't get an Wait a minute. When did that happen? Kane Archer said he wanted an Arkansas offer? I might be behind on some of this. I don't know. Everything I've seen on Kanye, though, I think he definitely is a diamond in the rough with that speed, watching his film. Kid has an instinct to be where the ball is, and he rarely gets beat. Yeah, well, I would rather them bolster up this roster with as much proven talent as they can get their hands on at this level in the SEC, right? In the Big Ten. I would even take ACC, Big 12 at this point. Like, get guys that are proven, that have the tape and the deeper analytics, the snap count, right? And those guys are going to be hard to come by because the better ones are going to the draft, right? The better ones are going to the NFL draft. And then everyone else is going to be looking for Big Ten. Big Ten's got a lot of hype behind them right now. If they win another national championship, I'm going to be sick to my stomach. I'm so damn tired of the Big Ten and their fans now getting so ballsy on social media. They really think they're now the best. They're the premium college football conference, and that's bullshit because they're not. The SEC is still where it's at. Look at the draft picks in the last 2 decades, son. Take a seat. 1 or 2 years doesn't count. You got to do it consecutively. Take a seat. Big Ten, bunch of tryhards. SEC's where it's at. It's still got all the hype, still has all the excitement, still has the best logos as much. Oh, I can't say that. I can't say that with a straight face. That Missouri Tiger logo. Oh, I don't know what's worse, the Memphis Tiger. You ever looked at the Memphis Tiger, the logo? It looks a little, I don't want to say it, but it you know. Yeah. So, I don't know. Just because, yeah, y'all are talking about Kane Archer. I just don't care about the Kane Archer stuff. I really don't. I don't know that. Look, if he wants to come here, fine. But I would much rather. I'm more concerned about these older quarterbacks. If it's true about Caton Hauser and Josh Hoover, I'm focused on them, not Kane Archer. Nothing against Kane Archer. He might be spectacular. I don't know. I think he caught a lot of hype when he was younger because when he was like 13, he was like 6 foot tall. Okay? I mean, you know, and he's a great athlete. He's a great player. Nothing against Kane Archer. I've seen the footage. He's a great Arkansas high school quarterback. But, I mean, obviously, you know, there's people on campus that just don't think he's worth being here. I don't know. And maybe they're wrong. I always root for the Arkansas kids. I mean, it's pretty cool to see them. I'd rather them be successful in a Razorback jersey. But we have to talk about this the situation with Coach Cal. I don't know if you guys caught this or not. He had something pretty interesting to say. He's been asked quite a bit about this stuff about, you know, players coming back from the NBA or whatever, and he's talked about the transferring stuff too, right? The transferring stuff has gotten out of hand. He had something really unique to say about it. I say unique. I mean, it feels like a pretty common sense take, and I don't think he's the first one to have this take. But I'm glad that he's out here saying it. Let me see if this plays. You guys tell me if the audio works.
So I say to you, if a kid transfers 4 times, is he going to graduate from that school? There's no way. You can't graduate. So now you're going to be done playing without a college degree. You have no ties to the last school you went to where they feel that you're from Arkansas, you played here, we're here, you're going to have opportunity. That's done. You're offered $55,000 in your first job, and you go, what? $55,000? Do I have to show up? Are they going to? You got me an apartment, right, or a car?
Are we juggling balls?
I'm worried about mental health. Mental health. That, look, I've been poor. And you know what's worse than being poor? Coming across some money and then being poor again. That's the worst. That's probably why I'm cheap, because I'm not going back there. But So my thing is, and I've been pushing this, you can transfer once without penalty. Because you picked the wrong school, the coach lied to you, there was another player that came that you didn't know about, one time. And after that, you got to sit. Because what do you think they're transferring for? Somebody help me here. Why are they say it? That's it. It isn't because they're mad at this or that. I can extort you, and if you don't give it to me, I'm going over here. If we cure that, I've been saying it for 5 years, no one listens to me. My dog, I call him, he runs the other way. My wife doesn't listen to me. No one listens. If we cure the transfer rule, 70% of our problems go away. We can deal with all the other stuff.
So that was Cal, obviously talking about, you know, the ridiculous, you know, the amount of times you could transfer. The comment that he made the other day cracked me up. I say the other day, it was like 2-3 weeks ago. Got a guy whose family's in the stands. He's got a full beard and he's paying his wife's whatever, the child support. I love it. I don't mind a coach that riffs a little bit. Now, you know, as long as he's winning, right? As long as he's winning, we don't mind. But that's what he had to say about all that, right? And what I found interesting, certain players' dad, this is Jaden Quaintance. I always mispronounce his last name. It's the Kentucky forward, Quaintance. His dad took to social media, and then. Why don't you move over, damn it. Hold on, here we go. See if I can blow this up a little bit. You guys can. He quote tweets it. This is his dad, Hammond Quaintance. I think I pronounced it when he was in the portal. I think I pronounced it like Quintaince. I don't know. Anyways, he's calling Coach Cal a scumbag. Yeah, it's his dad. It's Quaintance's dad. I'm not afraid to say it, transplant Texan. Come on, bro. How long you been watching me? I ain't afraid to say it. These scumbag coaches who abuse power over these kids for decades hate for these kids to have freedom to leave a bad situation. I had a coach who recruited me to play one position. And when I got there, put me at another and smugly asked me, what are you going to do? Transfer. Like, dude, first off, you can't be serious. You can't tell me that this situation doesn't need to be fixed. I don't care if your kid, you know, where did he play at before he went to Kentucky? Was it Arizona State? Where the hell did he play? I forget. I've put that whole situation so far behind me. But his son did transfer. Okay, fine. And by the way, I think he's only transferred once. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Cal's right. This situation is stupid. It is so dumb. We're juggling bulls. I'm never going to let that go. We're juggling bulls. It's a fugazi. I saw that he said that too. It's a fugazi. I like, what are you talking about? Pops, Hammond, what the hell are you talking about? You know that this situation needs to be fixed. It needs to be fixed. We have to figure this out. And Cal's resolution to it makes the most sense. Hey, you get to transfer once. That's it. Other than that, if you want to transfer again, we're not telling you can. We're telling you, or that you can't. We're telling you that you can, but you're going to have to sit out a year. Now, he also says you can transfer twice if your coach leaves or if he gets fired. Then you can transfer again with no penalty. That's what he's saying. And this guy over here talking about him being a scumbag. I'm sure, Cal, listen, you know there's going to be a podcast with some former players who are going to tell it like it is. They're going to drag Cal's name through the mud, and maybe there's truth behind it. I don't know. I mean, feels like every coach has some dirt on their hands, right? I mean, it's just part of the business, but I don't know. The tweet could have been like, yeah, listen, he's got a point, but coach has had all the power for so long. And he's not wrong, right? You got to go through the coach to ask permission for your release, I don't know. Well, I mean, Texan, I put it on the screen, buddy. I mean, what are you talking about? I was putting it on the screen. Some of you guys are just impatient. Learn some patience, transplanted Texan, please. Ty, you gotta cut Cal saying it's Fugazi. Yeah, I don't have that. I don't have that. I wish I did. But yeah, it was pretty funny when he said it. It's a Fugazi. Call scout. Call a scumbag. Get a. Yeah, I can't say the rest of that. Coaches are supposed to have the power. What are we talking about? Well, so yeah, they're supposed to. What I'm saying is his dad technically isn't wrong, because before you had to ask for a release, and then when they gave it to you, and I guess, there's other circumstances. Obviously, if you were a super senior, you could transfer without any penalty at all. And I'm not even sure you had to. I don't think you even had to ask the coaches, to release you. But I mean, yeah, if you go somewhere and you're recruited, and this is in all sports, basketball, football, or baseball, you're recruited to play a position. You show up. Oh, we're going to move you. Wait a minute, what? And then you're gonna get hit on the depth chart. Wait, what? And there's nothing you can do about it. And again, yeah, the coach is supposed to have that say so. I'm not agreeing or disagreeing necessarily. I just think the way he kind of goes about this is just stupid. First off, calling him a scumbag, like, okay. All right, buddy. Yeah, you're right. He's a scumbag. Okay. Circumstances change all the time, sir. I just think it's so silly. And then you have this situation where a player could really, right here, they actually called it out. Nico left Tennessee in a bad spot, too. I guess they can just jump around as much, and as soon as you want to get more NIL from different schools. Yeah, players now have entirely too much power. That's the point. Coaches are supposed to have the power, and coaches could leave. I mean, you look at Lane Kiffin and his 1 year at Tennessee when he bolted, I mean, yeah, that sucks, and that does happen. Or coach gets fired, or your position coach leaves. I mean, that stuff does happen, and it does suck. But again, that's just the nature of the sport. That's the nature of the business. But for a player to have this kind of power, where you have the situation that happened at Tennessee, whose brother did the same thing, the younger Iamaleava did the same thing, where he just left. Now, fortunately, it didn't have any real impact on Arkansas. He wasn't going to be in the 2 deep, the quarterback position. And I think we all kind of knew when he committed it as late as he did and all that kind of went down, there were some red flags. It was like, wait a minute, that was kind of out of nowhere. What's going on here? And then you saw how it went down. I don't care what anyone from Kentucky has to say about Cal. That is fair. But I thought it was noteworthy. I got a kick out of it, Gary. You may not care, but I know some other people that did, and I know this is an ongoing conversation. There were a lot of people who were not. Well, I say a lot. There were several people I talked with that wanted me to bring this up on the show, so I did. But I wanted to. I saw that and I read what he said, and I thought, you got to be kidding me. In fact, the original thumbnail for this live was literally Cal called scumbag, and then with Cal's face on it. But I pissed off Facebook so much with my Silverfield getting shit on thumbnail last week. Oh, that was so funny. Oh my God. I know John Haas probably already left, but he read some of those comments. It was pretty funny. People were crashing out. Whatever happened to that lawsuit from the University of Arkansas against Nico? That's a good question. Next time Hunter Yurchak talks to the media, maybe they'll ask, can you give us an update on what happened with Iamaleava? Yeah. It's the wild, wild west now. Right now, NIL is out of control. I agree. It is. It is completely out of control. I'm still here. I made fun of a guy for not lasting. Yeah, that's right. You did. That last thumbnail, that last title of that live from last week was, I knew it would get a rise out of people. I'd get pissed. Sometimes I just do things to make the grandpas on Facebook get just so angry. And that's nothing against, listen, my dad's a grandpa. That's nothing against the grandpas, all right? I'm sure I'll be a grandpa if I'm lucky enough one day. But it's always the same damn people that get so upset about absolutely nothing. Life's too short. Smoke cigar. Whatever happened to the Pigpen Collective? The outsider was trying to start. Well, the Pigpen Collective is renamed. What are they calling it now, John? Are you still in chat? What's it called now? They're calling it something else. Someone in chat knows. But they've renamed. I think they're doing pretty good. They signed somebody. Choose Arkansas. That's it. Mods coming through clutch right there. Yeah. Yeah, they did switch that up. Did we ever get a reasoning behind that? Why they changed it? So anyways, Cal was dead on, and Pop's here. Pretty just ridiculous. Don't do this. Don't be this guy. Calling him a scumbag. It'd be wonderful if Cal would respond to that kind of stuff, you know. For a scumbag, Cal has a lot of what? A lot of players sending their sons to play for him. Oh yeah, Heyman is butthurt because he wasn't good enough. Yeah, it's not Razor's Edge anymore. It's Choose Arkansas. AF Warrior. All right, man, we got to do something about Arkansas basketball. We have to pick how many games. All right, here we go. Here's your post-live question for XP. It's going to be worth a lot. This is worth 5,000 XP for people in Discord. Give me your Arkansas wins and losses, not per game, just how many in the SEC. I want to know 18 games. What is it? 9 at home, 9 on the road, I think. That's the way it's supposed to be split up. Tell me what you think. This is post live. You can also answer it right here now live. I want you guys to tell me your thoughts. This is big. This game against Tennessee is absolutely huge. It is absolutely huge. This is how you start off SEC play. This whole weekend is big, you guys. You got the transfer portal. Isn't the timing of this just great? It's like Christmas after Christmas. It's Christmas after New Year's, and I'm so excited for this. Can't wait. So you got Silverfield and his era beginning, and then you got the SEC hoop schedule beginning. Starting off with Tennessee coming to Bud Walton Arena. I will give you my updated top 5. I'm not giving you the total wins and losses for all the top 5 teams. I've really got 6 in my top 5. The SEC this year is, I mean, I don't know. It feels like, a lot of people are really super high on Vanderbilt. A lot of people believe Kentucky's bounced back. They're getting healthy, and now they're getting dangerous. They're figuring out how to play as a team. What are they on, a 4-game win streak, I think? Talking about Kentucky. Arkansas, really one kind of just loss that you felt like they just never had a shot. But for the most part, they've gone toe-to-toe with top 10 teams. They look and feel like a top 10 team. They're just not – I don't know. Well, we'll get to that in a second. But I'm going to give you in no particular order, the top 5 teams by the end of the season. And they're probably going to be exactly who you think. I'm not putting them in any order. You guys don't have to you can if you want. But I want you to tell me Arkansas how many wins and losses in SEC play? Do you have an upset? Maybe you think they're going to go down to Florida and get a win there. Not a place to have a tremendous amount of success. Tuscaloosa, they got to go to Bama this year. Do they get upset at home? Is there someone we're just not taking seriously enough? Home or loss, right? You guys tell me. I'm going to give you a second here to respond. Make sure you like, share, and hit the subscribe button. Yeah. Sadly, SEC will probably have less than 10 teams in the tourney. I agree. Yeah, I think it's probably, just based on what we've seen so far, I don't know that they even get but like 8 in. The more you look at it, the more I just don't know. It feels like it, and 8 is still a good number, by the way. 8 is still a really good number. That's not like, oh man, they're just a shit basketball conference. Could there be less? Yeah, maybe. I think it ends up being 8. SEC play is here. Arkansas fans, bring the noise. Make Bud Walton great again. Let's start conference play with a message, says Brian Barton. God, I love that. Inject that into my veins, Brian. Okay, Ecto Mason? He's got Arkansas at 13-5. Transplant Texas says 12-6. Okay, Jonathan Brewer 12-6. Wow, a lot of 12-6s. Fishman 12-6. He says hopefully. We're winning all the conference games. Ty 18-0. No, I don't think that's happening. Well, let me start off with my with where I'm at with the SEC. I'll just be honest with you. I said I wouldn't. It's really hard for me to bet against either Alabama or Florida. Florida, some close losses with a pretty difficult schedule. Yeah, they've got some issues. They're a great rebounding team, but what's kind of going on with all their guards and their depth at the guard position? Is Boogie Flan going to get it figured out? There's some questions about injuries. We know Vanderbilt just lost a key piece of their team. A key piece of the Vanderbilt roster is out, and I think he's out for the year. That has an impact on where I'm putting it. Had that player been healthy, I'd probably still put them somewhere up there, right? I think I'm probably, if I picked someone now to win the SEC regular season, not talking about the tournament, regular season, I would go Alabama, and I think it comes down between Alabama, most likely, and Florida. And I think Arkansas might be in the mix. There's just something about Arkansas right now that and I realize they just beat the living hell out of James Madison as they were supposed to. They actually covered the spread. I think the spread was 25. They've scored 100 points. Their offense seems to be clicking at a really high level. Acuff is unstoppable. We got Thomas. Finally, Leak kind of came back after not having as big of an impact. I think he had to overcome some things. There's a lot of good here with Arkansas. I still think there's something going on with their post defense. I do like the combination of Brazil and Ewan on the floor. I love what they can do outside. Arkansas apparently can now just shoot the 3 ball. How many guys are shooting above 34, 35%? And not just based off one shot a game, right? These are guys taking three or four looks a game outside. They can spread you out. And with Malik Ewan in Brazil, if Brazil ever wants to come in and play closer to the post, who knows what they can do as far as offensive boards? Who knows what they can do as far as being a better team? They've gotten better at crashing the boards overall. What the hell was that? Oh my God, that's loud. Why is that so loud? It's my Facebook Marketplace going off. Sorry about that. But they look like a pretty good inside-outside team. They could score from 13 to 15 feet, and then they can score outside in the perimeter. Leak is automatic with that corner pocket 3. Brazil, there's no reason why this guy shouldn't be taking threes, right? Why would you want him playing closer to the post when he can do what he can do on offense? You've got guys like Knox is still kind of coming around, DJ Wagner. You're still kind of waiting on guys to still find their place, even guys who were here a year ago. Pringle is still a giant question mark for me. And it's almost like if Pringle could play at a consistent, we know he's not a scorer, okay? But if he could have a bigger impact on the boards, if he could clean up around the rim a little better, and we know he could play physical. And in fact, if there's ever a fight on the damn floor, I'm afraid Pringle would probably be in the mix or be the reason for the fight. I mean, he can get a little ornery, right? He can get a little ornery. And I like that about him sometimes. Sometimes he just doesn't play smart defense. He fouls a little too quickly. But if he could step his game up, calm down on the fouling, and yet you still want him to be more aggressive, right? He's got to find that balance. It's not just him. Played a little bit more aggressive and not give up so many easy buckets around the rim, Arkansas could be really good. We've seen their perimeter defense at times against good opponents really slow them down and chase them out off the perimeter, especially at home. I think Arkansas is going to be really tough. I almost would take the bet right now. Arkansas may only lose a game at Bud Walton this year in the SEC, maybe 2 at the most. But there's still something just isn't clicking with this team for me as far as getting over that hump and being a top, for sure the number 1 team, number 2 team in the SEC. They're just not there yet. I just don't think they're there yet. Maybe they'll figure it out. I agree about Tennessee. They need to have a statement game against Tennessee. I'm not saying you got to run them off the floor, but you need to control the momentum from tip-off to the end of the game. Like, you need to maintain 10, 12, 14-point lead, stay all over them, try to beat them on the glass as best you can, get to the free throw line, get them into a little bit of trouble, show that you can back that up with not just getting to the line, but continue. For the most part, they were really good at the free throw line. Shoot above your average at the free throw line. Maybe I like their shot selection outside. It's actually been really good. Some of these freshmen are taking adult shots. Now, sometimes they are trying to pop it up as soon as they get the ball, and there's not a lot of ball movement. But the more movement we see, whether it's in the paint, closer into the post, close to the rim, or when they're outside, when they move the ball, it opens up so much for these guys. Then you get a guy like Brazil stretching the floor out, knocking down 3-pointers, knocking down 2, 3, maybe 4 a game. Oh, my God. Combining that with Acuff, who can slice and dice, he could cut, he can come off-ball screens. He can kind of do it all. Acuff is just fantastic, Malik. We know what these guys are capable of. We know that Knox and Wagner, we're also still kind of waiting on them to be consistent. I have liked some of Knox's defense. And Wagner, too. Wagner getting real, he's getting pretty, he's going after the ball on defense. I saw that last night. He's not afraid to swipe a little bit. And he can usually play pretty smart defense. That's what they do. They play smart defense. They don't turn the ball over a ton. The recipe is there. When you look at the assist-to-turnover ratio, when you look at the fact that it looks like they're starting to become a more at least consistent team outside. They're not just hitting 5, 6 threes. They can hit 8, 9, maybe even 10 threes a game outside. They're figuring it out, and they're doing it at the right time. Again, it's just that they're still just missing something. It's mostly on defense. The zone doesn't terrify this team like it did a year ago. They can pop the zone. They've got guys that can kick it out and hit the 3, or guys that can cut right to the basket. I love what this team has as far as its potential. I just wouldn't take them right now to win the SEC. After seeing what I've seen, they're not over that hump yet. Now, can they figure it out as they go? And again, Tennessee's going to tell us a lot, right? And then you got a couple of road games that are going to be tough. I mean, even though, what is it, Oxford? Is that right after Tennessee? I get them mixed up. That's going to be tough. Beard, they're not off to as good of a start as Ole Miss thought they would have, but it's a Beard coach team, and it's not like you. I mean, he has beaten Cal, so you need to win Tennessee. You need to set the tone, and I think if you can control Tennessee, if you can control that game again from start to finish, and then you carry that momentum and that play all through those first few games of the season, then we're probably changing our tune. Like, okay, no, wait a minute, they can win the SEC. I don't think they're that far out. I really don't. Part of that's because I don't think the top of the SEC is quite like there's no one that's a lock to win the title out of the SEC. At least in the same way that you look at, even though Duke lost, that Texas Tech game, you don't look at anyone like a Duke even Michigan State. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Like, there's no Houston level. We don't have that this year. At least I don't think. It doesn't feel like it. Maybe I'm wrong, and I hope I am wrong. Well, then again, maybe not. But, you kind of want some wins, too. I don't know that Arkansas could beat a Duke-level team right now. We know they already lost to them once. Even now, as the year's unfolding, getting into conference play, I still don't think Arkansas – I don't know that Arkansas would win, but maybe a game of 3 versus Duke, right? Houston, you're probably 0 for 3. I just don't know that I'd take Arkansas to beat Houston once out of three games. They controlled that game, right? Yeah, I would go Alabama, Florida, probably Arkansas right there, not that far behind, those two. And then you're throwing in probably Vanderbilt and Kentucky. Kentucky's tough for me. And again, I'm just talking about my top 5 in the SEC. Kentucky's tricky. They're getting healthier. They're playing a better brand of ball. I think they're riding like a 4 or 5 game win streak. I have watched them play a little bit. I mean, they are starting to look like that team they thought they had at the beginning of the year, but I would not pick them in front of Arkansas. Right now, I would take Arkansas to probably win 2 out of 3, maybe even 3 out of 3 versus Kentucky right now. I think Arkansas is better. I think Arkansas is better than Vanderbilt. But, again, if they weren't as banged up as they are, if they didn't have a certain injury, that'd be a tough call. Out of 2 out of 3, 1 out of 3. How many would you win? I don't know. Luckily, you have them in Bud Walton this year. So that's kind of where I'm at. That's where I'm at. I've got Alabama winning it with Florida right there in the mix. I hate to say it. Florida is just extremely well coached despite some of the weaknesses that they do have. Alabama's got some issues too. But there's just something about once conference play starts, I think I've seen enough that I'm like, yeah, those two are probably going to be who I would take. Vanderbilt's got some questions. I think Florida has bigger questions to me than – and, we'll see where they're at. I don't like the fact that you got to play them in Gainesville, but, it is what it is. They came here last year. It's just the way it works. But Missouri's going to be a good question. And there are plenty of teams this year too, by the way. Like, I don't know that I would take – maybe Mississippi State and South Carolina I would put at the bottom of the SEC. Haven't watched them play a ton. I just don't think I would put them in. How far of a gap is that between 15th and 16th versus 6, 7, 5? I don't know yet. I really don't know. I'll tell you, Vanderbilt is very, very attractive, though. I'm telling you all, Vanderbilt looks so good. They're the only team. I think they're 7th in the net rankings. Let me double check this. Yeah, they're 7th. Listen, they're 3-0 on the road, 3-0 on a neutral floor, 7-0 at home, 3-0 versus quad 1, and then 3-0 versus quad 2, 2-0 quad 3, and 5-0 quad 4. But, I always say, too, like the net rankings also can mean not a damn thing because once the season unfolds, things are going to change, But Vanderbilt right now, it is really hard to look at them and say, well, are they in that mix as far as the top 3? I just don't think the gap is that wide between the best team and the 5th best team in the SEC. It's just not that wide. It's there, but it's not that wide. Okay, Arkansas, how many wins and losses this year? It's tricky. My initial getting ready for this, because, I was kind of playing this live out 2 days ago, and not that I thought James Madison was going to tell you anything. It just showed that, you're going to cover the spread against a team like James Madison. I had them initially at 12-6. I had them at 12-6. And I think it ends up being 13-5. I think is where Arkansas is going to land, because even though we know that there's been some, the seating arrangements at Bud Walton could play a role, and that's why I think they probably are going to lose a game or two inside Bud Walton. But I think the fans are going to show up when especially on those Saturday matchups. When you've got these big Saturday games, they're going to show up. Tennessee, right? 2 p.m. tip-off in Bud Walton. I think fans are going to go berserk for that. Can't say the same for a Wednesday night at 8 freaking p.m. No idea what we're doing for the show, for the Wednesday night show. We may have to wait, pause that show until Thursday. I don't know. But I don't know how many fans are going to show up for that game. South Carolina, I don't think is going to be worth a damn. And I think fans right now think that. We could be wrong, man. By the time January 14th rolls around, they might surprise us. Like I said, I don't know how big the gap really is between the top 6 versus the rest of the SEC. And then you got, unfortunately, Vanderbilt's not coming in on a Saturday night at 6 p.m. They're coming in on a Tuesday night on January 20th, again, at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Those games should be banned. And then you've got LSU, and I think fans will show up for this on Saturday because it's LSU, 7:30 tip-off, right? So, yeah, I think I've got Arkansas winning 13. I think they win maybe all but one, and then they snag. I think they're going to sneak up on somebody. I say sneak up, not really. But I think they're going to probably win somewhere. Now, right now, for me, at Bama and at Florida, those are the only 2 games. And I would almost argue at Oklahoma just because it's Oklahoma. I don't know what it is. That team could be winless in the SEC, and they'd still find a way to beat Arkansas. I don't understand it. That team does not have half the talent you have, and they still find a way. It doesn't matter who the hell's coaching the Hogs, how good they think they are, or how bad we think Oklahoma is. It doesn't matter. They just always freaking beat Arkansas, and it drives me insane. Arkansas should be favored in this right now, but I don't even think the matchup predictor likes them. That's a 6 p.m. Tuesday night game in Norman. But for real, though, my 2 for sure losses are at Bama right now, could change, at Bama, at Florida. Other than that, I think everything's either a toss-up or a favor towards Arkansas. I think Arkansas head-to-head is a little bit better than Tennessee. I think they're better than Ole Miss. I think they're better than Auburn. Imagine if you start the year off 3-0. You're telling me you can't beat South Carolina and then go to Georgia, even though Georgia's playing pretty good ball? I think they could go to Athens and win that game. And that's where playing all those tough games on the road, you know, when you went to East Lansing or when you're going to Texas to play these neutral site games, you're playing Duke at the United Center. Like, that's when those games are supposed to help you out, right? Getting used to playing away from Bud Walton. You beat Texas Tech and at the American Airlines Center, right, in Dallas. The only game this year that it just felt like you had no chance was Houston. Like, really. Houston's like the only game, and Cal said it himself. It was just, you know, it felt kind of, I don't want to say pointless, but they just had your number, and you couldn't figure it out. And you know, so the loss felt like it was going to be a lot worse than it was, losing that one 94-85. We'll see what kind of team they are rolling into mid to late February. You know, once you're getting ready, of course, you got the SEC tournament, which is, March. What is that, March 10th, 11th? You end the year. It really sucks. You end the year at Florida. You do get Texas at Bud Walton, and you got to go to Missouri. I hate that part, but, you know, whatever. At least you're not playing at least you're not ending the year with, like, at Florida, at Bama, you know, at Oklahoma, somewhere you just can't ever win for whatever stupid reason. All right. Okay. 13-5 of the SEC will be good enough for a 4 seed, absolute worst, regardless if the team goes 0-1 in SEC tourney. Yeah, it's just going to depend on where we're at with the SEC overall, right? Like, kind of what the perception is of the league. Houston has an elite defense. Yeah, you're not going to play. I don't think another defense like what Coach Sampson has. I mean, you know, that's just what they do at Houston. They just controlled the entire game. Vandy hasn't played anyone. I need to see them play a ranked opponent. Okay, well, I mean, have you actually watched them play though, Hogzilla? I mean, that's the question. Have you actually watched them play? I need a top 3 seed so we can avoid playing a 1 seed. Yeah. Would be great. You're going to have to win more than what I said, though. You're going to have to win. You're going to have to win a lot of SEC games. And I'm not saying they can't. I think they absolutely can. The only decent team they played was Memphis. Isn't even that good. But I would say going to UCF and winning winning at UCF, and I don't think they've lost a game since at home. They beat. They went on the road and they hammered Wake Forest. I mean, that's the key. They're winning away from home, and like I said, they're unbeaten on the road and on neutral floor. Yeah, they haven't played. I mean, they haven't played. Guys, that's why I don't have them in front of Arkansas. All I'm telling you is I think they're a good team. I mean, I think they're somewhere in that top 4. But I mean, there's several brackets that have them like a higher seed than Arkansas, and I don't think that's going to be the case. I think Arkansas ends up probably with a higher bracket or higher seeding. Sorry, Vandy starts off play at South Carolina, but then they come home and they play Alabama on the 7th. That might actually be a pretty good game to watch. Vandy's they've always been tough to beat at home, and I hate that floor, but they have always been tough. Even when they're not so great, they're still just a team that's tough to beat at home. But yeah, I don't like Vanderbilt to finish in the top 3. Again, I would if I was a betting man, I would take I'd take probably Bama at 1, Florida 2, Arkansas 3. And then it's just, I don't know. And you could say this about the entire damn league. Like, the only teams I feel pretty certain about, just from watching what little I've watched of them, is Mississippi State and South Carolina. Those are the only 2 teams I feel comfortable in saying, yeah, they're probably going to finish the bottom 4. I mean, this is going to be an interesting. How this all unfolds is going to be interesting to watch. Again, Vandy's had a major injury, and we'll see how they respond to that. I still think they're going to be pretty good. Not as good as they were. That's just the nature of it. Man, I got something in my throat. Let's see. Alabama wins by 15 plus. Vandy is tough to play at home, but is always guaranteed that we get a windmill dunk against. Yeah, I would take. Listen, if Arkansas Vandy played instead of Tennessee, I would take Arkansas and Bud Walton. Yeah. Alabama wins by 15 plus. Against who? You talking about Vanderbilt? I would take that bet. I would take that. I would say Bama wins, but I don't know about 15 plus. There we go. Got a frog in my throat. I agree. Vandy is probably the 6th best team in the SEC. I think they're somewhere in that top 5. I mean, I'm trying to look up. Don't we have a game? Yeah, Tennessee's playing South Carolina State. Yeah. Yep. I got sent a link. What is this? Yeah, I don't know. Okay, Florida has been playing better. So is Kentucky. Kentucky has played better. They are starting to piece together who they are. And, I mean, that's always the kicker, right? There's always that team, and Arkansas is probably a good example of this last year, even though they actually got better when they got hurt, when they were trying to figure out, like, what do we do without Boogie Flan? DJ Wagner steps into that point guard role, and it changed everything. But, and maybe that's what's going to happen with some of these other teams. But, like, a team like Kentucky, you're just waiting on them to get their pieces, everyone healthy, figuring out that rotation, which, they're going to know what it is by the time they play Arkansas, which is at the end of January. So it's going to be like, is Kentucky playing at the level everyone thought are they going to hit that level? Because we know that roster, the cost of that Kentucky roster is insane. And that doesn't always mean you're going to win. But if they are hitting that level, if they're playing at that high level by the time they play Arkansas inside Bud Walton Arena at the end of the month, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, right? I mean, Where's Arkansas play? Are they better? Have they pieced everything together? Some of the other parts that aren't really clicking, do they get that part of their game figured out? And so then you just kind of take it 1 week at a time as you get ready for March. And, you're going to suffer some black eyes. I think Arkansas is probably going to get punched in the face by a couple of teams. I think they're probably going to get beat by someone you don't think they're going to, lose to. But then they're going to go on the road and probably win a game they're not supposed to win. Or they're going to beat, maybe they do go to Florida or they go to Oklahoma and they beat Oklahoma, whatever. That's, whatever. But then later on in the year, you do go to Florida and you win that game. Maybe you go to Alabama and they prove me wrong. They can be the best, or they can win the regular season. I hope that's the case. Right now, I would lean on Arkansas probably being somewhere around third. Oh, yeah, by the way, tomorrow night we have UConn and Xavier are going to play tomorrow on Peacock. Georgia Tech and Duke. No SEC games, I don't think. Oh, no, that's top 25. Hold on. Yeah, just Tennessee. South Carolina played Albany. They beat the crap out of them. South Carolina's now 9-4. Yeah, I can't wait, though, man. I'm just glad it's here. Like I said, this is the best time of year. You've got the portal opening up on Friday. Again, that's the official, Silverfield era begins, right, this Friday. And then you've got SEC basketball on Saturday. I'm just so excited for it. Yeah. I hope – I don't really care how good or bad any of these other teams are. Arkansas just needs to win, baby. Love to see them go. Someone said 18-0 earlier. God, could you imagine if they went 18-0? But the likelihood of that happening, not super high. So, yeah, don't forget, the post-live question is, give me your Arkansas wins, the win count, the win total. Obviously, I don't want you to go win game by game, but just give me your wins. Maybe you think they are going to go 18-0, 16-2, 15-3, whatever. You tell me. Win, baby, win. That's right. Heck yeah, dude. Anthony Black scoring 40+. Yeah. South Carolina could upset Vandy this weekend. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, anything's possible. I mean, I would take Vandy, but anything's possible. You never know. Yeah, so this weekend, some incredible. This is a great lineup. Tennessee and Arkansas, Kentucky, Alabama, Auburn, Georgia. Was there not another one? Oh, Florida's at Missouri. So Florida, who's again, they're not off to the hottest of starts, but they've gone toe to toe with some really good teams. They're 9-4. They're at Missouri, who's 10-3, and that'll be on the SEC Network. 7:30 p.m. But Arkansas, we will have the post game for that. I will be here. No idea if I'm going to have Travis and Tim alongside me with that or not. I don't know. But we will be here for the post game for Tennessee and Arkansas. So from here on out, I'm pretty sure we'll be doing lives at least for every Saturday game, if not every Saturday and the Tuesday, Wednesday games. That's the goal. We may not be live for all of them, but again, that's just why you hit the notification bell. That way you know as soon as we go live. Hopefully, YouTube will send you the notification. So, yeah. 14-4 says Jerry Pritchard. Hey, that'd be a good one too, wouldn't it? I'd take 14-4. Yeah, again, I've got him at 13-5 is where I've got Arkansas. We're due a win at Bama. Man, we're due wins. We're due a win against Oklahoma, Alabama, Florida. How about Arkansas will mimic the 94 team and go 14-2? By the way, did you guys see the ball behind me? Arky 56 finally handed that bad boy down. That is the 94. That's every player. I think we're missing one autograph. That's every player from the 94 national championship team autographed that ball. That's my dad got that ball in 95. Or 95. Maybe it was I don't know. Maybe it was like the summer of 94. I don't remember, but it was sometime around there, and it used to sit on top of our stereo case in the living room, our old house in South Fayetteville. I always told him, I said, Dad, that ball, you're handing that down to me. He always joke around about, well, I'm going to sell it. Like hell you are. That's it right there. That bad boy. That is autographed. They're all there. That's probably that is the coolest thing I have now. Coolest piece of Arkansas merch that I have. I will not be selling it. It will not be a part of a Patreon giveaway. Very cool. Shout out to Arky56 for that. That was a Christmas gift. My wife got me. Oh, we'll do a little show and tell for the fellow nerds in chat right there. Wife got me that bad boy. Lord of the Rings. Yeah. And I have read 2 pages. I just haven't had time to sit down and read much, but it's got like Tolkien illustrations in there. I'm a huge the movies, the trilogy is my favorite trilogy of all time. Lord of the Rings. Shout out to Peter Jackson. Peter Jackson, the man. Ever since I watched the movies in theaters, like I want to read the book so bad. So I got it finally all these years later. So coolest other than the red chrome. The red chrome is cool, Arizona Tim. There's no doubt about that. The red chrome is legit. That is awesome. But the autographed ball, though, I think that takes number one. That takes the cake, baby. That's it. So shout out to the wife for the Lord of the Rings and Arky56 for the autographed basketball. So I don't think I can hand it down. My kids could give a damn about Arkansas basketball. They don't care. I started Harry Potter. Harry Potter movies again, Ty. Harry Potter's good movies. They're good. I like Harry Potter movies. I've never read. I read one book, only because I had to in high school, the first one. And but yeah, I like the movies. They're really good. Hey, so before we sign off here, I do want to take the time to say thank you to you guys. 2025 was incredible. We had this year alone almost 307,000 total views in 2025. Nearly 2.1 million impressions and over 7,000 subs. I mean, I didn't think we were going to pass 7,000 subs this year. I really didn't. I thought we'd maybe by spring of 2026 we'd get there. But none of this is possible without you guys. And I, man, it's just been great. 2025 was spectacular for this channel. Believe it or not even like the best year to date, but one of the best. I think this is like the second best year to date that this channel's ever had, going all the way back to when we were Pig Trail Network. And it's because of you guys. Patreon supporters crushed it in 2025. It ended up being the best year Tusk Talk with Ty Patreon has ever had. I mean, it just keeps, we're growing. I mean, you know, it's been fantastic. Shout out to Tim Neal and Travis Ford for helping out with the lives. Travis, who's, put his, some of the thumbnails. He's really helped me out in the thumbnail game. I'll tell you that. Everything you see on the screen, he helped build. So shout out to Travis Ford. Obviously, they were the lone sponsor through 2025. This is the first time I've ever gone through a whole year with just one sponsor. And it's mostly because of Patreon. Patreon was doing so well, I just didn't bother. I need to reach out to more businesses. I've kind of a little bit reached out to a couple, but mostly because, we've already had the direct service overhead sponsorship, and Patreon just continued to grow. YouTube was finally sending me checks. Finally. I say checks. They, send the money to your account, but through AdSense revenue. But 2025 was great, man. And without you guys, none of this is possible. And I really do appreciate it. Again, shout out, talking about Travis, shout out to Direct Service Overhead, the garage door company. Right? Without them, this is not possible. Same-day services, quality parts, affordable outcomes, better than the best results, over 1,000 5-star reviews. Over 1,000 5-star reviews. 501-244-3667 down there in Central Arkansas. Free estimates. All you got to do is give them a call if you need your door fixed. But those guys, are direct service overhead. Shout out to Jess and Travis, Patreon, and all you guys here. I mean, you made 2025 just so awesome. It was really great. We were already trending in a really good spot. even throughout the bullshit of the Pittman era, right? You guys hung in there, and I hope the content, I hope you guys enjoy it. As long as there's an audience, this channel can stick around and I can continue doing what I do. Now, hope you had a Merry Christmas. I hope you have a Happy New Year. Please consider joining Patreon because that really keeps everything where we're at. Keeps, one ad read and shout outs to Patreon, and that's it, right? And Patreon supporters, again, you really help keep the ship afloat. So shout out to everybody, man. And as far as content through the rest of the year, don't think I'll be live tomorrow. You never know. That's why you hit the notification bell. I might do some random live. I don't know. But just make sure you hit the notification bell, okay? And we'll be back for sure Saturday after Arkansas and Tennessee. Shout out to the mods also. Thank you to the mods in Discord and YouTube. Other Mike, Kerper, John Hawes, Austin. Appreciate you boys. Can't do this without you guys. And, past mods, current mods, future mods. All right. That is it, though. We're done. We're done for the year. This is the last show of 2025, man. I know we don't normally go live on Tuesdays, but I wanted to get this out there before the New Year's. So, yeah. Oh, by the way, Patreon supporters, we got legendary status members. We have your cards. We're probably going to hand one out. We're going to spin for a winner probably tonight, and we got 2 more to go. I'm going to try to get these handed out, get them all handed out before tomorrow night. But we have 3. We have Chris Gregg autographed right there. Look at that. That's gorgeous. Chris Gregg, hell of a Razorback. McTelvin Agim, another gorgeous card. Again, you got to be legendary stats. You literally can sign up right now, and you have a shot at winning one of these cards. We're not doing previous month stuff anymore. When you see the name scroll moving forward, it's not going to have the month anymore. It's just going to say current Patreon supporters. And then last but not least, Jarius Wright, autographed. Yeah. There you go. So we got to hand these 3 out, and I'm probably going to spin at least for one of them later tonight, and then we'll get the rest of these handed out tomorrow. So that's what you get for being a legendary status member. Get a shot at winning one of those bad boys right there. All right, everybody. Again, Happy New Year's. Please be safe. And I'm going to do the corny thing and say I'll see you next year. I'll see you on Saturday. You guys be good.